champion from Hollyport in the United Kingdom, spending some time here in Melbourne, and Catherine's going to be helping me out with the draw this evening for the Open events. Those of you who don't know me, I'm Alistair Curley. I'm the chairman of ARTA and also of the International Real Tennis Committee, and I'm joined in the background off camera by the legendary Frank Filippelli, head professional at the Royal Melbourne Tennis Club, who will be making sure that all the names that we draw out go into the draw in the right way. And at the end of the proceedings tonight, over the next couple of days, Frank will then make sure that all the times are put out, and we'll issue the draws later this week. I'm also joined by the man who's making the magic happen. That's Richard Pagani, who's driving our stream for us this evening, and we know it's going to go swimmingly. Now, the Australian Open this year has got record prize money, $70,000 total prize pool, which is our best ever. It's a phenomenal result, and we also have a great field, including the men's and women's world champions, a stack of top stars, and pleasingly, a whole stack of emerging talent as well. And it could be the tournament that sees a breakthrough by some of our emerging stars as well. So I think that's all we need to do. We just need to crack into it. So you ready, Catherine?
Yep.
We are going to begin with the Australian Women's Open singles. Now, that draw features Claire Fay as the number 1 seed. She will be at the top of the draw. And Lea van der Zalmen from France is the number 2 seed, will be at the bottom of the draw. So we now have to work out where the 3rd and 4th seeds sit. Yeah. So those seeds are Tara Lumley and Saskia Bollerman. I'm going to put them in here in the Australian Open Doubles Trophy, and I'm going to mix them around, and the first name I pull out will be going in the top half of the draw, seeded in a semi-final to meet Claire Fay, and that name is Saskia Bollerman. And that means, of course, that in the bottom half of the draw, seeded to meet Lea van der Zalmen in the second semi-final will be Tara Lumley. So that's the first part of the ladies singles draw. And now we have a qualifier match in the early rounds between Claire Vogler and Rachel Hollington. So now we have to just draw the remaining players in the draw. I'm going to put their names in here again, and these will go down the draw in order from top to bottom to fill in the remaining gaps. I'm going to shuffle these around. So, Frank, this will be the next person to play
Saskia Bollerman.
Saskia Bollerman, and that is Emma Clyde here from Melbourne. The next person will be drawn to play in their quarterfinals, seeded to play Tara Lumley, and that is the person sitting to my right, Catherine Carney. And then that means that JC Tan, also from Melbourne, is the last person in the draw, will be playing Lea van der Zalmen. Am I right in that, Frank?
Correct.
Thank you. So there we go, a smattering of Melbourne, British and French players filling out, and American players, I should say, filling out the ladies' draw. We'll show you that full draw. Are you ready to do that now, Frank? And it's up.
It's been shown.
It's been shown. Brilliant. You've all seen it. So we're ready to move on to the doubles?
Yes.
So we're now going to do the draw in a moment or two for the Australian Women's Open doubles. The top seeds for that, Frank, who are that?
Claire Fay and Saskia Bollerman.
Claire Fay and Saskia Bollerman are the top seeds, and I know who the second seeds are because one of them is sitting right here, is Catherine Carney, and you're partnering Lea van der Zalmen, if I recall rightly. So now we have to get the draw that determine the 3rd and 4th seeds, who will play in the top half of the draw. And again, I'm going to move these around. And then, so this name will be coming into the top half of the draw, seeded to meet in the semi-finals, Faye and Bolliman. And that is Josie Tan and Penny Lumley. Great to see Penny Lumley in the tournament, a former women's world champion. And that means in the bottom half of the draw, seeded to meet
Leah
and Catherine in the semis is Xanthi Ranger and another Lumley, Tara Lumley. You getting that now down, Frank?
Yeah.
Frank's writing feverishly in the background here. So now, Frank, we're just ready to draw the remaining players in the draw. So we've got 3 more pairs to fill out the draw, and I will put them in here. So where will this first player go, Frank?
To play Josie Tan and Penny Lumley.
Okay, that is a Melbourne pair, Prue and Jan McKay.
Julia
McKay, sorry. And then the next one will play...
Just a moment.
Yeah, sorry, Frank, I really got to write lots of names in the doubles.
Tara Lumley and Xanthi Ranger.
So this is to play Tara and Xanthi, and that is going to be Claire Vogler and partner. And lastly, this pair will have the pleasure of playing yourselves and Leah, and that is Emma Clyde and Rachel Hollington. So that completes the draws for all the ladies' events. Am I right, Frank?
Correct.
So I'll just give Frank a moment or two, and then we'll move on to the open events, where Catherine's going to earn her keep by pulling all the names out of the hat. But some great matches in prospect in the women's, would you agree?
Yeah, definitely.
Including your own?
Well, hopefully.
Yes. Well, your handicap is coming down like crazy, so I think you're one of the people who might be looking for a breakthrough result come this tournament. And I won't put too much pressure on you. Right, I think we're ready to go now, and we're going to move on to the Australian Open Singles. The top seed in the Australian Open Singles is, of course, the world champion Camden Riviere, and the second seed is Nick Howe from Australia. They're already placed at the top and the bottom of the draw. Now we're going to have the draw for the placement of the third and fourth seeds, and this is where you're going to start working. So our third seed is Steve Bagona, and our fourth seed is Lewis Williams. I'm going to put these in here, and Catherine, I want you to mess them around, do all of those sorts of things, and the first name you pull out will be going to the top of the draw, seeded to meet Camden Riviere in the semi-finals. First name out is
Lewis Williams.
Lewis Williams will be seeded to, if he goes through, to play Camden in a semi, which means, of course, that the bottom semi-final, it will be Steve Bagona seeded to play Nicky Howe in what is scheduled, which I'm destined, I'm sure, to be a drinks match, I would think. Here, two fantastic semi-finals. Right, so that's the first 4 seeds in the Australian Open Singles, but there are 8 seeds in this year's tournament. So now we have to place seeds 5 through to 8. So I'm going to put these 4 names in here, and they are the next 4 best players, the 5th through to 8th seeds, and Catherine is going to draw them, and we're going to work our way down the draw. So the first, you can mess them around, do what you have to do. The first one will be seeded to have a quarter-final against Camden Riviere. Am I right?
Correct.
Thank you. And who is that going to be?
Kieran Booth.
Kieran Booth. Oh, always a dangerous floater early in the tournament for visitors, so Camden will have to be on his mettle. Now the next one that comes out is going to be seated in a quarterfinal to play Lewis Williams. And that is Levi Gale. I think these boys have played each other a bit recently too, but they get to do it on Aussie soil. Now the next one coming out will be seeded to meet Steve Vagona in their quarterfinal, and that is Chris Chapman. That will be one for the locals. And then finally, seeded to meet Nikki Hale in their quarterfinal will of course be
Nino Marola.
There he is, Nino. So that's our 8 seeds now placed in the tournament. So now we have 8 more places to draw. So I'm going to put these names into the trophy for you, Catherine. And we shall then fill out the remainder of the draw. Crikey, there's some pretty good players here. Not even seeded. Right, so we're going to be going mess them around once I've done all of this. And a good mix up. And this person's going to be where in the draw, Frank?
To play Camden Riviere.
Okay, Camden Riviere in the first round.
We're working down the draw.
Yeah, and we're working from top to bottom. And this is
Ben Hudson.
Ben Hudson, both American and now a local boy. And the next one will be to play
Kieran Booth.
Kieran Booth. Tony Hollands. So Tony Hollands coming over from Newport has got Kieran Booth. The next one, Frank.
To play Levi Gale.
To play Levi. Michael Williams. Oh, a danger match for Levi with Michael, who can run very hot here in Melbourne. And then the next one, Frank.
To play Lewis Williams.
To play Lewis Williams is Claire Fay. Again, they played each other recently too, I think. Excellent. Now the next one will be to play Steve Vagona. And that's qualifier 2. And we'll come to the qualifiers in a moment. But qualifier 2 will play Steve Vagona.
And the next one is to play Chris Chapman.
To play Chris Chapman. John Woods Casey. Oh, the local boys meet. And then finally, I think I know who the other one will be, and that's to play Nikki Howe.
No.
No?
To play Nino Marola.
To play Nino Marola. Sorry.
Yeah.
Qualifier 1. And then the last one is to play Nikki, is that right?
Correct.
To play Nikki, which will be Ollie Pridmore from Hobart. So that completes the main part of the draw for the Australian Open singles. And now we have to move on to the qualifying event. And I'll just give Frank 30 seconds to prepare the next draw. We've done 3 and we've only got 2 to go.
Are we doing qualifying?
Yes, we'll do the
doubles first.
No, the singles qualifier, Frank.
Okay.
Now, people will be wondering perhaps why there is a Go Pies mug here. Always going to become very clear in a moment. It's obviously Chris Chapman's drinking mug if it says Go Pies, but he's a devoted Collingwood man. Are you about good to go, Frank?
Yes.
Right. So in our qualifying tournament, we have 8 players in the qualifying tournament. 2 seeds are, Frank.
Henry Henman.
Henry Henman's top seed in Group 1.
And Alex Marino Hugh.
So the top half of the qualifying draw will be qualifier 1, and the bottom half will be qualifier 2. So there, look, we've had our 2 seeds, but we have a 3rd seed who is Paul Rosedale, and we're going to decide whether Paul is going to be in Group 1 or Group 2, the top or the bottom of the qualifying draw. And that is why the mug is going to come into play. So in here, There's a 1 and a 2. So, Catherine, Paul Rosedale, that is
1.
1. It's definitely 1. You won't be able to see that, but it's definitely 1. So Paul Rosedale will be in the top group in the qualifying tournament.
Yeah.
And now we have the remaining players in the qualifying tournament, and we will draw them from top to bottom. And I will put these players into the trophy for you, Catherine. Here we go, last one. Give them a good mess around. And so these are going down the draw. So I guess the first person's going to play Henry Henman, is that right?
Correct.
So this is to play Henry Henman. Sammy Legg from Hobart. The next person will be then playing Paul Rosedale.
Yep, correct.
Oh, my memory's working, Frank.
Doing a very good job, Alistair.
And that is Baudouin Hyun Lenhart from Bordeaux will be playing Paul Rosedale. That'll be a crackerjack. The next person is at the top of the bottom group. And
Top
that,
of the bottom group.
yes, who we got here? Ooh, good messing around. Rhys Williams from Melbourne. And he will play your next name that comes out. Nick Stenning, well, that's a battle royal, another local match, and that will lead, the last person will be to play Alex Marino Hume, which is Eli Cosma from Melbourne. So well done, thank you. We're nearly there. We've just got the Australian Open doubles to go now, so we'll just allow Frank to...
And the Australian Open.
And the qualifying.
And the doubles club.
Yes. So doubles is always hugely exciting, as we know, and always produces some of the best tennis of the tournament. The top seed in the Australian Open doubles this year is the very powerful pair of Steve Vergona and Nick Howe, and the second seeds are Camden Riviere and Chris Chapman. So we've got our third and fourth seeds here, and we're going to put them in here. Catherine, you're going to pick one of these, and the first name out will be seeded into the top half of the draw, seeded to meet Howe and Vergona in the semis, and that will be Nina Marola and Henry Henman. And I'm giving Frank lots of names to write here, but that, Catherine, that does no mean that the pair that you bring out will be seated in the bottom half of the draw to meet in their semi-final to meet Camden and Chris, and that's Levi Gale and Lewis Williams. So now we then come to the remaining places in the open doubles draw, and I'll just put all of these names in here, one of which will be a qualifier. Okay, mess them around. This first name out will be playing right at the top of the draw, Vergona and Howe. Booth and Pridmore. Poh, that's a big first round match. The next one will be playing
Nino Morello.
Nina and Henry Henman. What have we got here? We've got Williams and Williams, but the Melbourne variety, Michael and Daniel Williams. The next pair out will therefore be playing Levi Gale and Lewis Williams. And that looks to me like Ben Hudson and John Woods Casey. And that leaves one pair which will be playing Camden Riviere and Chris Chapman, which I think is going to say qualifier. So, now that only remains to do the doubles qualifying, and I'll get Frank to prepare that final draw, and we're almost there. I'll get Frank to tell me who the top seed in the...
Rosedale and Hollands.
So Rosedale and Hollands are the top. There are 4 pairs in the doubles qualifier chasing 1 spot. The top seeds are Rosedale and Hollands, and the second seeds are
Claire and Alex.
Claire Fay and Alex Marino Hume. So we've got a very simple task of just to decide who plays who. So we've got 2 pairs here. In they go, and one of them, the first name out, will be up against Rosedale and Hollands. So mess them around. And to play Rosedale and Hollands is Sammy Legg and Baudouin Hyun Lenhart, which means the other pair to play, who have we got? Who's the bottom?
Bottom pair is Faye and Marino.
Faye will play Nick Stenning and Reece Williams from Melbourne. So that completes the doubles qualifying draw and actually completes all the draws. As I said earlier, Frank and his team will now proceed to transcribe these into an electronic format with all the match times for you, and we'll get that out to all the players and publish them on our website and Facebook page later this week. All that remains for me is to thank the team here. Catherine, is that your first big draw?
Yeah.
Well done. Perfect. 10 out of 10. Frank, always 10 out of 10. You did a great job writing your way. He's got writer's cramp, I think, going so quickly there. And Richard, well done on making the magic happen and the stream work smoothly. We look forward to seeing you all at the Australian Open. If you can get here, that's terrific. Obviously, we're going to have fantastic streaming for you all throughout the tournament. And we've got, as we've just seen, some phenomenal matches in prospect. So I look forward to seeing you all in the new year. And, of course, in advance of that, best wishes for a very Merry Christmas. Thank you.